Jeff, you're going to carry us into the value conversation, I think.
I am going to carry us into the value.
Oh man, what a segue.
Yes. and to close our last topic out, I'm going to tell you the reason why you want to go with a contractor that does cover their bases in the contract with the escalation clause for pricing. It is not to surprise you with extra costs, because I think we can all agree we don't like going to our customers asking for more money ever. It's just a bad feeling to even have to do it. But if it's not in there, which job do you want us to go bankrupt on? Yours? And that's the security that you need to understand we're actually giving you by having that in there, is that we don't want to go bankrupt on anybody's job, but we would if we don't put those types of clauses in our contract. We have to protect the business. Yeah, what is your warranty worth at that point as well? That's a good point. The do you want to be on the ship that is sinking and the water keeps coming in? Are you the one that doesn't get a lifeboat? Because you are at that end of the job. So at any rate, want to close out with that thought, because that's why it's going to be important. It's not a negative thing; it's a positive thing for you. Now we're going to get into the value.
Yeah, what value besides the price itself? What value do you bring to the table? Why hire a contractor?
Right. Why indeed? So we've built up to this. You probably can predict what we're going to say on this, but we're going to go through the exercise of saying it out loud for you. I'm going to hand it over because I know that you got a lot to say on this.
Okay, well, my simple version of it would be
This is our numbers guy.
Well, beyond the numbers, it's really a matter of I turn jobs away all the time and tell people, you don't need me. I'm not going to provide you with a good value.
Yeah.
You should hire that tradesperson directly, or those 3 tradespeople directly. It's when you have 5, 7, or more trades happening at once that the general contractor is going to provide the real value, because somebody has to know what the right hand and the left hand are each doing, and put that in the right sequential order of events, so that you don't do something to then have to undo it so that somebody else can come in to do their part. And so just making sure that it flows is going to, A, make sure you land on a budget that was planned, and 2, that you end up finishing in a timeline that was planned.
Right.
But
And
that's
to,
all relevant too.
Basically, what you're doing here is saying that the value that we bring to the table is we've navigated this minefield dozens of times, hundreds of times in the last year and a half or so. So while we've done that. If you get into a situation where you have 7 trades, if you're trying to navigate that for the first time, it's going to be a lot more difficult. So our value is in the fact that, it's going to be a bumpy road. Yeah, we're going to get you there, but we're the ones getting you there. We're the ones taking that stress on and working those things out. So great point.
I think what Jeff's saying is, over the years, we've made tons and tons of mistakes, and so you shouldn't have to repeat those same mistakes. And now we can save you a lot of money because we've had to pay for them along the way, right? You want to add, Gary?
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to value too, I mean, based exactly what you guys were just talking about. Okay, one of my big things that I want to touch on too is what Brad talked about a little bit in the last sentence. The last segment here was warranties. Okay. A lot of people out there, if you're out there looking for the cheapest guy or something along those lines, what is his warranty worth? Okay, that's one of our biggest values. When we have an issue, if there's something that comes up, we're going to be here for 10, 20, 30 years, or at least I plan to be. I don't know if Jeff will be around, but at least at that point, that we can come back and take care of your warranty, whatever that predetermined number is. But even if a customer or another contractor gives somebody a 10-year warranty, they might be flying back to Michigan next week afterwards, or not warranting that. So that's kind of a big part of my job.
I'm not there anymore.
Exactly. Doors are shut, phone don't ring, whatever it is. But as far as value that we're bringing as a contractor, that really goes into 2 parts. We have a design phase and a construction phase. And Jeff, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. You guys are doing this as well. And so we go through, we give some 3D renderings of the project, pick out all the materials that we need, make sure that the project is how it's supposed to be from Jump Street. And then once you start construction, it makes everything go much smoother. Touching base with what Jason said as well, as far as we've been through this. We know this may be our customer's first renovation. We've done it hundreds of times. And so while some customers have done others in the past, they've done previous projects, it helps that we've got the experience as well.
Have they done one of those projects in the last 3 years or 2 years?
Exactly.
Yeah, go
Ryan,
ahead,
what,
Ryan.
the best contractors that you see out there, what are those contractors doing that's right? What value are they bringing to those clients that's making them get hired all the time?
Well, I want to touch base real quick because he mentioned, having the general contractor, be in charge of those larger projects, right? So when I do with the homeowner directly, if they have one or two things, it's not so bad. But then when I have to start educating the homeowner on when to do what after what passes inspections, I prioritize what's in my bubble. My bubble is insulation. And beyond that, that's all on you guys. So I tell the homeowner, well, you should have this. They're like, what's that?
But if the homeowner didn't tell you about those 3 new roof penetrations that are coming
Correct.
before you apply the
Correct.
spray foam,
Correct.
that presents an extra challenge for the contractor.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Might result in extra money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Will.
Yeah.
Right, well,
Yeah. I had an interesting conversation with for a while we moved our we had moved our stated profit and overhead on our contract up by 2%, and so somebody was basically asking me like, hey, so everybody else is at this, you're at this, you're 2% more, what's the deal? I thought the going rate was X, and I'm like, so we'll for the sake of keeping it anonymous, we'll say Bob, and so I asked him, I say, Bob, when I first got here, you said that you called 7 people and I was the only person that called you back. Aren't I worth, maybe the number was 3%, what, just making this up. Aren't I worth 3% more? And then he's like, okay.
Answer the
And,
phone.
and sign the contract. And it's because it's like, even if the number was 20%, if you're the only person that's actually there willing to pick up the ball and run with it, that is such a huge value to that person, because he needs what he's of a state of mind where he's gonna get what he wants done. But it's like, can I handle it for him? Could our team handle it for him and get it done in at least a relatively smooth manner? Even, there's always hiccups, but like handle those and get it done for him. Or would he have a project that lasts 18 months and winds up costing probably as much as or more than if he just paid us to manage it for him? Right.
Jeff said I was a numbers guy, so let's put that in perspective, what he just said, 3%.
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna spend $100,000 of my money to remodel my house,
Yeah.
do I wanna take a chance with the guy that's a little, would I be willing to pay 103 to the guy that I felt very comfortable
Right.
was gonna be able to do this and
Right.
have the proven track record for doing
or
it?
110.
Well, how much do you pay
For
a
the,
waitress
what's the
that
value of
doesn't-
certainty?
Doesn't do any decisions? How much do they get? And
Yeah.
you're talking about 3% when you
Right.
you tip your waitress 20.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So the value probably seems like blatant to us and like any contractors that are watching, but you do have to continue to remind yourself of like, oh, what am I actually providing the people who are going under contract with me? It's a lot. Right. Like it's a shit ton.